Hello students, how are you doing? I wish you're fine. Today we have a new lesson about phrasal verbs and expressions. Let's get started. Started out. It means to begin your life or the part of your life when you work in a particular way. For example, my dad started out as a salesperson in a shop. Now he is a general manager of a famous company. So this is how he started his life. Next, call off something, which means to decide that a planned event won't happen, will not happen. For example, union leaders called the strike off at the last minutes, so they have changed their mind. They cancelled everything and there won't be any strike on streets. Next, talked talked him into or talked somebody into something, which means to persuade someone to do something, to convince someone to do something. For example, he's against the idea, but I think I can talk him into it. I think I can convince him to do it. Next, pay off. If something you have done pays off, it's a successful thing. For example, all her hard work, all her hard work paid off in the end and finally passed the exam. Come across. It means to behave. To behave in a way that makes people believe that you have a particular characteristic. For example, she comes across really well. She creates a positive image. He comes across as a bit of bored in the interview. So this is how he looks like. Next, passed away. It's a polite expression for die. For example, she's terribly upset because her father passed away last week. Went out. It could have many different meanings. I will show you two of the most common ones. First, if a light goes out, it stops shining. For example, the bedroom light went out after a moment. Also, if a type of thing goes out, it stops existing or being used, usually because it's replaced by something else. For example, the weapons had gone out of use. Tied in with or tie something in with something, which means to plan an event or activity so that it combines or happens at the same time as another. For example, we are trying to lie our holiday in with James' business trip. Next, curse. Now we have curse as a verb and curse as a noun. Let's start with curse as a verb first, which means to speak angrily or to use a word or an expression that isn't polite and shows that you are very angry. For example, we could hear him cursing and swearing as he tried to get the door open. Another example, she was cursing her brother for losing her keys. Now let's look at curse as a noun, which could be magic words that are intended to bring bad luck to someone. For example, in the story, a wicked witch puts a curse on the princess for 100 years. A wicked witch means a bad woman. Okay? Archaeologist. Archaeologist is someone who studies the buildings, graves, tools, and other objects of people who lived in the past. For example, she wanted to be an archaeologist and took part in several digs in her youth. Do you remember digs? We talked about it. We talked about it many times when we studied dinosaurs in documentary. Next, persuade. It's a verb. It means to make someone do or believe something by giving them a good reason to do. To do it by talking to that person and making them believe it. For example, if she doesn't want to go, nothing you can say will persuade her. Or we can say, nothing you can say will convince her. Okay? So it has the same meaning. Next, look out. It means to watch what is happening and be careful. For example, the police have warned shopkeepers to look out for forged notes. Forge as a verb, it means to copy, to make an illegal copy of something in order to deceive. We say a forged passport is not original one, or a forged signature. Okay? For example, a number of forged works of art have been sold as genuine. Just kidding, it's informal. It's used to indicate that a statement isn't to be taken seriously. For example, I'm quite ready to retire and to stop working. No, I'm just kidding. Next, besides. It's an adverb and a preposition. It means in addition to or also. For example, she won't mind if you are late. Besides, it's hardly your fault. Another example, do you play any other sports besides basketball? Next, the moment. If you say that something happens the moment something else happens, you are emphasizing that it happens immediately after the other thing. For example, the moment I closed my eyes, I fell asleep. Emphasize is a verb. The UK usually say emphasize with S. In American English, we say emphasize with Z. It means to show that something is very important or worth giving attention to. I just like to emphasize how important it is for people to learn foreign languages. Okay? Now we have a few expressions left for our today's lesson. Serves you right. If you say it serves someone right, when something unpleasant happens to them, you mean that it's their own fault and you have no sympathy for them. For example, serves her right for being so stubborn. Stubborn is an adjective. Someone who is stubborn or who behaves in a stubborn way is determined to do what they want and is very unwilling to change their mind. For example, he is a stubborn character used to getting his own way without being willing to change anything about his character. Next, it's none of our business or be none of somebody's business. If something is none of someone's business, they don't need to know about it. For example, stop pestering me, it's none of your business. Pester is a verb. It means to behave in an annoying manner towards someone by doing or asking for something repeatedly. For example, at Frontier, there were people pestering tourists for cigarettes, food, or alcohol. They keep asking them. Okay? That was for our today's lesson. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.